What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We ain't gonna beat around the bush, but we got the people's champ on tonight, the one and only Mr.
Hey.
Obedie Williams.
Yeah,
It's, it's a long overdue for this conversation, ain't it, Obie?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're finally making it happen.
Heck yeah! So was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weekends ago,
Yeah.
O won
Yeah,
the Western Wild Card on the Delta.
yes.
Finally got his kayak Delta W.
Oh my
Finally,
gosh.
finally
Finally.
got it.
What man, I mean, well actually, I take that back because what was it? 2 years ago, I won it on the Delta.
Okay.
The Bass Nation, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Right?
Okay.
Yep. Because
Was
John
that
interviewed me. I was in Mexico.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Go. Yep. But outside of that one, but this one here was way better. The fit everything because that one I won, but it wasn't even no trophy, no nothing. But I don't know what happened. Somebody dropped the ball, but but all these years, 6, 7 years I've been kayak fishing the Delta. Man, I mean, every time it comes down to the Delta, something happens and I just fumble it and it doesn't happen. But I didn't fish enough tournaments to know like that's just the game. And one thing I done found out also is just in the kayak world, the competition gets better and better every year. It's so hard to win a tournament on the boat side or the kayak side right now. Is you just you got to count your blessings when you win one.
Oh yeah.
So, do you find it harder in the kayak on the Delta than the boat? Because I know you got your sweet spots. You got your
Yeah.
tide. The tide's right here. I'm gonna go run over here up north. I'm gonna run over here south. I'm gonna go east Delta. I'm gonna go central. I know you got that mapped out with the boat.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the definitely the it's man, it's like 50-50. I kind of guess because yes, definitely in the boats I can hit all my spots. Like today I went practicing, but I'm having little boat problems. So I didn't really want to take my boat because I'm going to use it tomorrow. So I jumped into the kayak. But jumping in my kayak to go practice on that delta, I'm just pretty much going to hit one spot and kind of stay around in that whole area. So today I stayed around that whole area, and but when I do locate the fish, I definitely like the kayak in certain instances on the delta because I'm kind of thinking outside the box of areas where, well, the boat really can't fish this area as good as a kayak. So when I come back in my kayak, I'm going to be able to put my bait in areas that I can't put with my boat, or I won't be as quiet in this area as I am with my kayak. So
Right.
I guess that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a 50-50. I do today. I wish I had my boat because I love to check 6, 7, 8 more, 10 more spots to definitely make sure where I want to go for tomorrow. But the kayak, I definitely limit it to spots. But I love it's so different because most of us, if you fish out of a boat, you usually launch at the same place we have these tournaments and you drive to all these areas. But when you have a kayak tournament, it's open launch, and you're actually driving your vehicle to some of these launch areas. I a lot of this stuff, a lot of these ramps I never been to. So it was cool
mm,
now to be driving around the Delta in areas like, oh man, I almost always see you from the water. Now I'm on land and I'm looking at the marina. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know all this was back here. And it's just two different worlds for me, but I love them both. It'll be hard to choose from one or the other.
so going from the boat to the kayak on the Delta, did you have to look at the map on the Delta and be like, all right, I know that's my juice spot there. There's what ramp is there? So they're like, okay, well, there's Paradise Point or there's
Yeah,
whatever. So you know,
definitely.
it took
Oh
you a minute
man,
to figure out where you could put it in, right?
yeah, and that's the part that just be cracking me up sometimes because it's like I could be having fish a couple of boat tournaments and have a spot where it's like, oh, I got some fish going on there. But then my kayak, I look on the map and then I'm looking where's the closest ramp to get there. And a lot of times it's like it's impossible to get there. I would eat up too much time kayaking all the way to that spot, and I will waste too much time. Now I didn't did it before, and sometimes it pay off, and sometimes it don't. It's for sure a serious gamble when I have to make those runs. But I feel like that's how you have to win. That's how you win tournaments. You gotta gamble. You can't stay in your comfort spot. You gotta expand. So yeah, definitely. I definitely look at the map a lot more, and I would drive over there and do practice runs in my kayak. Like, okay, let me drive it, see how much time it take. All right, let me launch. Okay, let me see how much time it'll take to get from here all the way if I kayak to that spot, and then how much time it's gonna take me to get back. What's the tide doing? What's the wind doing? All that stuff, because I didn't have tournaments like, oh, okay, I got these fish going. I'm getting this kayak and make this long run. But then the wind is blowing 20, and it's like, oh, it's no way I'm going to make it there or make it back, or it's just too dangerous. And then I have to switch it all up. Yeah.
So, I mean, congrats on the win, and you got to win. You got to win last week.
Yes.
In the Windy Wednesday nighter.
Yeah, that felt good.
I'm assuming that's what tomorrow's tournament is. You going out again?
Yeah. Since I won the Wednesday nighter, and I haven't fished one all year, but my boy Clint, he had a babysitter. Usually he doesn't have a babysitter to watch the kids, so he can't fish the Wednesdays anymore. And since my boat has been tripping, I just been not thinking about it. It's nothing I can do right now until my boat is running, and his boat is down too. So I told him, I was like, well, my boat ain't the best right now, but if we don't go too far, we can still go out there and have some fun. So me and him went out there, and man, we had a lot of fun in the boat. The boat barely made it back too. On top of all that, like I couldn't even fish how I wanted to fish. I had some more spots in mind I wanted to hit, but I didn't want to risk, especially once I knew we was over 20 pounds. I said, nah, we better get back close just in case. And coming back and winning that Wednesday night or being my first one of the year, no matter what happens tomorrow, I still got to show back up to, either I can go back to back or it just didn't happen for me. But I wouldn't do those guys like that. I won't just show up, win, and not come back.
Thanks for your money. I need to get my boat fixed now.
Right. My boy Christian right now, like, you better show up tomorrow. But it was so cool to get back and see all the fellas on the boat side. That's what I love. It's like, as far as I know, I'm the only guy pretty much that's fished the kayaks and the boats. So there's different guys on both sides, and I know pretty much the bulk of everybody on both sides. So when I show up to a kayak tournament, I'm chopping it up with all the kayak guys, and I can crack jokes, and I see all these guys I've been fishing with for years. And then on the flip side, I can go to a Wednesday nighter, and all these guys that's in the boats, they all know me because I've been fishing there for years. So and they haven't seen me in a while, and I was just excited to see everybody, and we cracked jokes, and shit, we stayed out there till it was midnight.
I wish I could find a way to do one year. It's just my schedule sucks for that on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, apparently the biggest show on the Delta, the Windy Wednesday Nighters. It draws the most votes. The competition is super stiff. It's like winning one of those, man. Yeah, you gotta pop your collar because it's hard to win one. It's guys that's fishing Wednesday Nighters for years and never won one. Like and it ain't taking nothing away from them. It's just the guys are just that good. So it's a good circuit Jerry and Richard and them got going on over there. And I love hanging out with everybody when I show up to the Wednesday night. So I'll be there tomorrow for sure. And we'll see if the boat get me there and back.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right. I better take a couple of guys' numbers.
Yeah, before and after fun times. Yeah, before signing up and after.
Exactly. That's like the beautiful part of all the tournaments is the before and the after. Everybody's when you get to the ramp and you got guys there and everybody's excited to get on the water. It's so early in the morning and you don't know what's gonna happen, but we're all excited to get out there and then you go out there and fish the day and then you come back and then everybody's whooped, but then we're all talking and cracking jokes and see who did good and who didn't, and hear the fish stories and what happened here and what did that, and then stick around to see who got them, who didn't get them, and then just reminisce with friends that you didn't know all the years, and telling old stories from tournaments past. What's better than that?
It's fun. Yeah. So, were you gonna fish the wild card at Clear Lake regardless? Or did you see the Delta and say, ooh?
You know what? I would have. I was going to fish the Delta one because I mean the Clear Lake one because I wanted to qualify this year. So I was telling the wife
Okay.
that, yeah, I said I want to try to qualify so I can go back east and fish. You know, and Clear Lake and the Delta are kind of the two bodies of water where I do have some good confidence in. You know, the I fishing the Delta so much kind of crippled me with the lakes. You know, because I'm like pretty much always here for the most part. Now I didn't fish lakes and did all that stuff, but Clear Lake and the Delta is just it's like I feel like I can win when I fish those two for sure. I got opportunity anyway, you know. And when they changed it from Clear Lake to the Delta, I was like, ooh, okay. And we already had two Yakka Bass tournaments prior leading up, so it was building up for me already coming. You know, I had a second place on the first Yakka Bass, and then they had the Gamblers. I took sixth place, but I was right there to win it, and I had two. I had big fish both days. So it was kind of practicing. I'm on them. The momentum was building. So when the wild card came, I said, and then come close to the trophy, I said, that's the one I'm going to win. It just felt like I was going to win. Now, I mean, most times I always can say I'm going to win. I go into these tournaments like that, but this one, it just super felt good that like I got opportunity to win this one here, and when I won, I was like, it's still like disbelief, like that's crazy. Like I had that feeling, and I went into it like that too. Even though both of the days just wasn't. Oh, I'm just catching fish, and I knew this was gonna happen. No, it was a grind both days, you know. But it panned out in my favor for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Tell us the story about your big one you caught on Sunday.
Oh my gosh! So day one, after day one, I'm in seventh place. I didn't fish clean that day, but I mean, it is what it is. I still was a tripping knowing that the place I was at, it was tight. So to get to third place, I was like, I'm literally feel like one good fish away from being in that third place. And I know on 2 days on the Delta could switch up. It's definitely going to switch up. Some guys that's at the top aren't going to catch them. Some guys on the bottom are going to catch them. And a few people will stay the same. And that's just how it always goes. So I'm banking on, okay, some of them guys that's above me, they got to not catch them tomorrow, not as good as they did today. And I need to have a better day. So I go to this, I switch it up from day one. I said, I'm going to do everything in reverse because the water was so high. So then I fish and I'm fishing. I end up catching 2 little fish. I go some hours without a bite after that. It's like 10 o'clock. I got like 2 or 3 little fish. I'm like, man, like this ain't going to catapult me from 7th place anywhere. I looked at the standings. I think I was like in 17th place. And I was like, but I also knew that my better bites were coming later in the day. So now it's like 10:30. I said, well, let me go back to where I was catching some bigger fish in practice. So I get back over there. The first flip up in there, I punched her. First flip up in there, damn! Line start crying. I said, oh, stay on, stay on. She comes on top. Boom, 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 boom. I'm bringing her in. Boom, 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 boom. I didn't even grab the net. She was just coming to me. So I lipped her. And as soon as I lipped her, the hook wasn't even hooked. Just came right on out. And I was like, yes, like that's the fish, that's the one. Okay, and I'm like, okay, okay. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, day one big fish. That was day one big fish I caught. And when I flipped in there and made the first flip, it was kind of lazy. I'm looking at this other patch I wanted to flip. But as I'm cruising over to the other patch, I saw that patch real fast with the corner of my eye, and I just flipped over there. And then when I flipped, it caught me off guard. I caught that fish, the hook came out. I'm like, yes, take the picture of her. As soon as I take picture, she flops back into the water. And I'm like, no. I grab my phone, like, say you got her. Looked at her, I got her. I said, yes. So that fish there helped me stay in 7th place because my other fish was small. So that fish there. So day 2 now, I'm coming in 7th place. I'm fishing. Now, yeah, it is like 10, 11 o'clock. But now I get to my other patch. So I get to this other patch where right near the one I caught that big fish on. So I'm flipping. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And I'm like, dang, I really was hoping that patch was going to give me one fish that I can call. Because right now, I think at that point, I had 4 fish. Yeah, I had 4 fish. I had 1 solid fish, and I had 3 little fish. So then I'm flipping. I get right to the end of the patch. I make the last flip before I'm about to sit down and leave. Flip up in there. Dude, she pulls the whole kayak to her. And then I'm right on top of her. And she's just down there digging. I'm like, oh my gosh. She stopped moving. And there was just a big old grass patch like this, a glob of grass. And I'm like, oh, please be in there. And I moved some of the grass and I just saw this big old lip sticking out. I said, ooh. I pulled that fish out. I said, that's the fish that win you tournaments. That's the yonder. That's the gordita. That's the muffin top. That was everything. That was the yonder. I put that fish on 24 and a half inches. And that was my biggest fish I ever caught in a kayak tournament on top of that too. So I was like, yes, put that fish. That was fish number 5. And then I was like, okay. Looked at the standings. I was in first place. So I was like, yes, okay. But I know some of the sticks, they don't like to post theirs until after the tournament. So I'm excited, but I'm not too excited. You know I still got 3 little fish I need to get rid of. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to where we caught some of those. I had 2 solid fish from yesterday. So I'm headed back over there. There's a boat sitting right on the spot. And I was like, oh man, I made like a 20, 30-minute kayak drive over there. And I was like, man, I gambled wrong. A boat is sitting there. So I'm watching him to see if he's actually on the spot. And I'm just casting my chatterbait out, looking to see if he's on the spot. And I'm like, yep, he on the spot. And I'm like, oh man, I'm about to turn around. As I'm reeling it in, 4 yonder hit. Dude, I'm like, oh, bitter in, bow, 18 inches. I was like, yes, got rid of a 12-incher, 12 and a half inches. So I was like, yes, okay. Now this is the time, at this time, it's only an hour left of the tournament. So when I caught the 18, I tried to upload it and I had no service, so it kicked it to the live well. But now it's going dark. And at that time, I looked right before it, saw what places, and I was sitting in second. So I was like, okay, that 18 from the 12 is going to catapult me back up. So now I'm like, all right, let's go back to area where we was catching some bigger fish. You know, I got nothing to lose. I ran out of water now. I said, let's just go back and run it all over again. So I rushed back to my spots, start fishing. Dude, catch another one. 5 yonder. Oh, dude, get him in there. Like, yes. That was 19 inches from I got rid of a 13-incher for a 19-incher. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like I should be the top 3 with this fish now. And that was all the fish I caught. My smallest fish was a 14-incher. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Hopefully I'm in the top 3 with that. So I drive all the way back and everything, you know, and I still don't have a clue if I'm in first, second, third, fourth. But I'm just hoping to be in third. You know, I'm praying like, please, just being in third. So then they start reading all it out. Third place. Like, all right, that ain't me. Second place. Oh man, that ain't me neither. I'm like, I either took first or I took fourth. And then when he said he said first place also had big fish with a 24, and I was like, that's me. That's me. I say, they telling me I won the tournament and big fish, and man, that feeling was just amazing. You know, because it's like when you're not doing good in tournaments, okay, you're trying to do better, you're trying to do better. But then when you start getting on the roll, you start getting into, oh, I took fourth, I took third, I took second, I took second, I took third, I took second, I took fourth. But trying to win it, it's like, oh, it's so close. I had so many tournaments where I was so close, you know, and this was the one I wanted to win. And when it happened, I was shocked that I won. I was so happy. And to know that I qualified also too, man, it was one of the ones that was like, that was a special one right there. That, you know, and it was a long time coming for me on the Delta, you know. So yeah, that was a good feeling.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
That could happen to a better person that way.
You said
That's
what?
awesome. So that couldn't happen to a better person that way.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Right.
Thank you, man.
But,
Yeah, and it was so cool too. Like both days of the tournament, guys were driving their bass boat past and they'll see me like, dude, get them. Oh, it was people fishing from the bank. Oh, you got this. People were driving by on the roads. Let's go. Oh, I was like, this is crazy. I mean, so much love. I get so much love on the Delta, man. I mean, even like I said, some fish, I missed a fish. I went underneath this bridge. My rod got stuck at the top of the bridge, almost broke. I'm like getting frustrated, like I can't believe it. I had to retie. I'm like, man, I'm behind. And then there was a guy sitting on the rocks, bluegill fishing, and then he was like, Yita D. And I looked, he said, what's up? Oh, I said, he said, man, I can't believe I'm meeting you right now, man. He said, I follow all your stuff, man. I love what you do, man. And I was like, I appreciate you. I said, I'm in this kayak tournament. He was like, man, go win it, man. You got it. Oh, and he instantly just brought me all the way back. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. I love the people, man, out here in the Delta, man. It's so much love. Yeah, I said all that combined just made that tournament one of my top tournaments right there, for sure.
For sure.
Nice. Nice.
So let's get into a little technical stuff.
All right.
I love the stories, but so you said you had the big giant grass mat, right? So what if when you first roll up to your grass mat, what is your first, second, third cast going to be at? What are you looking at in the grass mat? Say, that's where I'm going to hit there, there, and there before you make a cast.
Well, I'll probably kind of look and see at the whole grass mat where is kind of really the thickest part of it at is in that mat. I'm gonna target that first, and then the front of it, the looser grass, and then I'll hit that back part.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to break it apart pretty thorough and pretty quiet too.
So if you got like a say a 50-yard stretch, you're gonna punch almost the whole thing before if you feel like there's gonna be a fish there.
Right. Yeah, and I say when I go out and practice, like when I practice, I don't care if I catch them or don't catch them for the most part. I mean, I care to the point so I can locate them, but I'm not going out there to catch them.
Yeah.
So I would fish everything. Know where's the juice. They change up, so I'll know like, oh, they're in this thicker stuff, or they're in the stuff that has some hyacinth on it, or it's the vines, or I'm trying to find out where they really are. Sometimes they might be just sitting directly in front of that grass, so I might got to come right in the front of the grass because they're right there, or they want to be in the thick stuff. But practicing and keep going out there, the more I go, the more they'll tell me exactly where they want to be at, until a whole new switch up of everything happens. And then I got to redo it all over again. But sometimes I can find that pattern and then I can run it for a couple of weeks before it disappears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Austin asked, do you have any colors you recommend for summer punching? And then what brand or which bait do you prefer to punch with?
I mean, I throw about 3 or 4 different colors. I'll throw like a green pumpkin. I like green pumpkin. I'll throw some type of crawdad imitator color. I'll throw a black and blue. And I'll throw something like a bright purple or something with a brighter color if the water is stained, lure of choice. I like, well, I was working on my own flip bait that I've been using, but I'm still working on it. So sometimes I throw it, called it the prototype. If you watched my show, the OG show, me and Greg, you saw me throw it on there quite a bit. I would throw that around. I'll throw what is those called? The Yo Mamas by Big Bite Bait? The Yo Mamas. Yep, I like that one. I also throw gosh, I can't even think of the name of it. Gee whiz, I can't even think of the name of it. GB put me up on it. Gosh, I can't think of it. But yeah, but those pretty much what it is. I mean, those three I probably really have locking in just those colors. I try not to do too much. I rarely do switch up. I don't throw a skirt on it. You know, keep it fairly simple.
So when's the prototype going to be a legit thing? What can the people get? When can the people get the People's Champs made?
I know. I mean, hopefully it'll be this year. Hopefully, it's just the politics of things. I'm trying to nail that out. But once I can get that nailed out, then I'll start rolling them out because I definitely want to put them in the hands of the people, for sure. But yeah, I didn't caught some key fish, and I feel like having something like that right now is just something different too that the fish haven't seen.
You're gonna make a color of the People's Champ.
Man,
People's color.
The People's Champ color. That gotta be one. The people crown me the People's Champ. So I love it, man. I love it, man. It's like we're just having fun with this fishing game. It's like it's just so much fun to be out there and having fun with everybody and seeing everybody and it just being part of this club. It's like it's like a big club and everybody's enjoying fishing. So, but I love that I'm the people's champ and the ambassador of the Delta. I try to hold my head up high on that to show everybody like no matter where I go, I'm gonna always be repping the Delta.
For sure.
There you go.
So how much time did you? I mean, you live on the Delta. You don't really. You practice all the time. Like that's your home body of water.
Yeah.
Like.
That, I mean, I do have the privilege of practicing probably more than the average guy who fishes here, but with work and the kids and the family, I don't get out. I don't get out as much as I would love to get out. But I feel like I definitely could tell when that's happening. When I got to work more, or I can't be on the water more, and then I go fish these tournaments. I understand when I lose or because it's like I didn't put the time in, I didn't put the work in. I kind of just went off it, but just off of history, I still feel like I got a shot even when I don't practice, just for all the years I put in on it. But I understand the level of it because when I'm at work or I'm with the family or I'm not out there on the water practicing, there's guys out there that's practicing, every day. And you got to see those guys. So when the tournament time comes, those guys don't have to drive around looking for nothing. They know exactly where to be. If they practice a lot, they know exactly what time and what area to be in that whole entire day. Versus the guy who didn't go out all week or 2 weeks and he show up, well, he's practicing on game day. He's driving to the area hoping, 3 weeks ago it was money over here, and now it all changed up, and now it's not there. So now he's driving around. He's going over here. Oh, we caught him back here a couple of months ago. Now that's all gone, and it's changed up. And now he didn't spend the hour, 2 hours driving around fishing stuff that the guy who was practicing already knew. They already switched up and them areas were dead. So I think that plays a big key with practicing. Just I think if not just catching them, eliminating areas. Because the Delta's so big, you can spend half the day driving around before you even get settled on an area to catch some fish. When some guys been like, "Nah, I knew exactly where to go from the gate." I like when I'm on them like that, where I'm like, "Nah, I know exactly where I need to be."
Yeah. Are they spraying right now?
What's that?
Are they spraying the weeds right now?
Yes. That's where it makes it hard to stay on top of these fish because all the heavy spraying. It seemed like they let it go for a couple of months, but now they're on it. Like, I mean, I had areas. It was nice. By Friday, they must have sprayed and it was gone. I said they must got some new stuff cooking because that stuff is like going fast. And I'm like, oh man, it's just I hate all that spraying. And it's
Right.
the spray is so strong and the smell, then the water gets all this algae green color and it's just not a good look, but I mean that's just what it is.
Do you feel that's a big problem with the Delta? Why it's kind of going downhill? Is all the spraying,
Oh,
or
for
what do you think?
for sure, for sure. 'Cause I'll say like 15, 20 years ago, I never. I mean, they could have been spraying, but I never heard them or even seen them.
Right.
Everything kind of what it was. And then it seemed like a couple of years ago, they're like everywhere is getting sprayed. It's like half of the stuff is gone, half the grass, half the hyacinth and stuff. Everything is just it's just not the same anymore. And I figure like between this heavy spraying and the sea lions, it's just decline. I've been out here living in out here in the Delta for over 25 years now. And 25 years ago, it was cracking, and I
Yeah.
didn't watch it go from that to where we are right now. And it's nowhere near like the old day. I mean, you can go in my backyard 20 years ago and catch 20-pound stripers like they were going out of style. Now they're like 1 pound stripers when they
Yeah.
run through now, 2 pounds, and it's just not the same, and I don't know what can happen to actually turn it around or if anything, or is this just the new normal? I hope so. I mean, because this is a fantastic fishery. If this fishery was able to blossom and do what it's supposed to do, I feel like it'll be number one in the country every year.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that first time in a long time Delta's not been one of the top bodies of water in
Yeah,
the country. You know,
yeah. It's
Clear
it's
Lake
it's a
definitely got its nod as number one, and I agree.
yeah. Oh,
I
I
mean,
agree.
Yeah.
Like Clear Lake this year and
oh
like Lee from last year. I
yeah,
mean, amazing, amazing. When you
Yeah.
start having tournaments and 30 pounds don't get you a check, come on now. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, and the Delta is just you don't see those 30-pound bags just coming into the scales.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's tough. You don't even hear about a lot of 10+ pounders being caught anymore.
Yep.
It's a different beast. It's a grind. You can't just go out there now and just catch you 20 pounds on a good day just because it's the summer and they're gonna crush the frog and all this top water and stuff nah, you you got to go out there and put some work in for sure and find
Right.
those areas. It's happening somewhere. It's just not happening everywhere.
So
Right.
did you catch any on the frog during the tournament? The wild
Uh,
card.
yes, I did. Yep, I caught two.
So why
Caught
why
two.
is it seems like you kind of hear people like the frog bite isn't as good as it used to be on the Delta.
No, not
Like,
even close.
is
Not even
that
close.
why? Like, what do you think's
I
changing?
mean, well,
Is it
I mean,
back to the
well,
spraying?
well, no, I think like years ago, it seemed like the frog hasn't been. It's been out a long time, but it ain't been out a long time. When it first came out, you start throwing it. These fish ain't seen it. Like I just like when I remember when the chatterbait hit the Delta, and they ain't seen it. You go catch 20 pounds with your eyes closed. Same thing with the frog. But I think like all places, everybody get wind of it. We all start doing it. The fish get conditioned to it, and then it's just like now. Is it back in the days you throw a frog on some cheese? Oh, that frog gonna bust all through that cheese, blah, blah, and
Oh yeah.
and crush it. Now, majority of that cheese you throw that frog, ain't nothing happening. Back then a frog could come up, hit your a fish would hit your frog, boom, he miss it. You had maybe 2 or 3 more opportunities to try to catch that
Oh
fish.
yeah.
He'll still keep coming. Now he missed that, he gone. You
He
know,
does.
he does. That's it. Now, if you can get you in some areas where people ain't fishing, then you might can get some of that magic. But on the everyday spots of the Delta that we all are just hitting and everything, nah, it ain't like that no more. So now you got to be more creative with your frog and put that frog in spots. And I think if you don't throw frogs, you probably like, yeah, they not biting them out here. But if you a frog thrower, then you probably making magic happen out here in the Delta, because it's like one of those things. It's like if you can keep that frog in your hand all day, which most people can. It's like with everything, you know. A lot of people can't punch all day. A lot of people can't throw a swim bait all day. A lot of people can't throw top water all day. A lot of people don't want to drop shot all day, you know. But when that's the bite, that's the bite. I feel like a frog fisherman is somebody who throws that all the time out here. Yeah, he a problem, because he high risk, high reward. He's like, I'm about to win it, or put the boat on the trailer, I'm going home. You know?
Yeah.
But that's why on the frog tournaments, it's like when I get out there, I don't throw frogs like that. I mean, I throw it. If I see something to throw it on, I throw it. But I'm not trying to create spots for my frog. I'm not driving around like, let me, it's an overhang over here. Let me throw that over there. It's just, you know, I got to be actually going down the bank and I'll see it and then I'll do it. But I feel like I need to do it more, because there's a window in the year where, you know, you throw a frog and it could be money. So that's why I always keep a frog tied on, because you just never know. When I took second at that Yakka Bass, I threw that frog. It was just a piece of grass sitting on by the rocks, and it was the only piece of grass that was over on the rocks. And I just threw it over there, and as soon as it hit that piece of grass, that 7-pounder, dude, crushed it. And I was like, that's crazy, because I was throwing that frog for a minute at nothing, and just that little piece there. And that was the only bite I got with it, too, the whole day.
I remember back in the 90s when the frog really first came out. And, I mean, to get 30 blowups in a day was common. And to have the fish actually, I called it playing volleyball. They poof, 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 you know?
Yeah.
That was very common.
Yep.
And like you said, you know, they'll hit it 3 or 4 times, and then finally they just eat it. They can't help themselves. Mm-hmm. Now it's, you know, it's really hard to get a bite. You really gotta, you know, figure them out, either super slow, super fast, or have a popper or kicker, or you know, walking it. You know, you gotta have it over the trees, or it has to be over the grass, or open water, or next to a tully. I mean, it's not the same anymore.
Do you tinker with your frogs at all?
No. Well, actually, you know, I got with Spear Point, and they got a new frog hook. So that's probably as far as I've been tinkering with a frog. You know, usually it'd be fresh out the package. You know, I might trim the legs down a little bit, but outside of that, nope. I like to find a soft frog though. You know, 'cause I need something that collapse real easy. You know, I think those stiffer frogs, if you start getting those stiff frogs, you'll lose them. Like, you lose so many fish. But if you got a super soft, he just collapsed like this. Oh man, it melts in their mouth as soon as they hit that thing. Dude, got him. Yeah, man, that's like a real key to me for this frog fishing. Mm-hmm. You know, because I didn't use a lot of frogs, and I didn't lost so many fish. And what I came down to, it's that stiffness where it don't want to collapse. You got a little pressure to collapse. Yeah. And when it got all that resistance, and it's already next to the hook, you know, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah. Soft.
So you're not adding weights or rattles or none of that fun stuff.
Nah. I don't fish them enough to do that. Like, it's probably one of those things. Like I said, I would like to I probably need to be doing stuff like that to get better at it. You know, because I didn't catch some big fish on frogs. It's just, you know, it's so many different techniques to fish. It's just hard to do it as much as I need to do it.
So your key bites though you're in a tournament were chatterbait and punching.
Chatterbait, punching. I got the frog, double buzzbait. Got some on double buzzbait. Yep. Yeah, and that was it. That was about it. Yep.
So if you ain't punching, frogging, buzzbaiting, or chatterbaiting, just stay home.
Man, if you're trying to win. Now, don't get me wrong. A guy can for sure go out there with a drop shot and a Cinco and win the tournament.
Yeah.
It's It's just not my thing. And I didn't dig. I felt like I didn't did good enough in enough tournaments of how I fish that I have confidence in what I do. So if I don't win or don't do good, it just wasn't my time. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. So you're gonna go out tomorrow. Hopefully, get
Yeah,
a
that's the plan.
repeat.
Man,
Hopefully
hey,
get
that would be the nicest, you know. If those fish would have cooperated with Casilla boy, man, fish. If you watching this, please, 30 pounds, come get in the box, please.
yeah, Daddy needs to fix his boat.
Right. I need to get this boat fixed, man. I need to get back out there. I said my plan is to get my boat fixed, and if everything go right, I'm on try to buy a new kayak by the end of this year. Have a new kayak. So trying to come back.
What are you looking to get?
I don't know. That's the thing. I definitely don't know. I want to go to the kayak shop and peek at a couple and maybe even go try out a couple just to see what fits my style.
You're gonna be getting that big old XTR, aren't you?
You're the second person that said that. I don't know. I got to see how I feel in it. Because all these kayaks, like I feel like they all good kayaks, but it's how you feel in the kayak. So I want to get into the kayak to see like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what I'm looking for.
Definitely won't be throwing that on top of the Sequoia though. You'd be having a hard
Right.
time.
I have to tell everybody come give me a hand, no, that's just for the light kayak to move around. I know I have trailer for big kayak, which I got no problem with that. I got some room for.
For sure. You still got the old root beer floating around?
I sure do. She right behind me in the backyard in the water over there. Yeah, now root beer for me forever. Soon I'm gonna put a motor on root beer and I'm gonna get back out there with root beer. Root beer for sure gonna make a comeback. Yeah, believe that. Yeah.
Well, you put a little 4-stroke on her, or you gonna just fresh that one up?
I'm gonna try to put like a 225 or something on her so that she really be moving down on the water, Yeah, root beer really be floating.
How big is that boat?
It's a 20-footer.
It is. Okay. So she ain't a small boat. Yeah.
Nah. Nope.
Take that 225 and roll with it.
Exactly. She ready to get back out there and compete with the big dogs. I
got another Ranger, right? Newer one you fishing out of now?
Yeah, so I got root beer and I have 2 Rangers. I got a older Ranger. I got a 2000 Ranger and I got a 2017 Ranger. The 2000 Ranger is a boat I'm just putting together to fix because my other Ranger I'm about to sell that motor to put a new motor on. That's my plan. But while I'm getting the money up to get that motor, I'm about to jump in the other Ranger just so I can have something to fish while I put some money up together, to do it. But and I said these boats, they just break down on me like left and right. I thought by having multiple boats that problem would not happen, but then they just all broke down on me. So, they all just broke.
That's the problem, though, man. Trying to buy a new 4-stroke, dude. It's like you need to take out sell your kidney and a lung.
I'm like $100,000 to go fishing. Like we still just fishing, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. Like the fish ain't changed. It's the same fish, but the boats just keep on getting more and more expensive, and then the motors still don't ever want to work. I'm like, for $100,000, man, the motor should never break down ever. You should go years and years and years and years. Hey, guys buy a boat, ride it 2 times, and the motor is kabaka. You're like, man, it's like this stuff is ridiculous. So and that was like one thing I really appreciate the kayak because when all these boats kept breaking down, I was still able to pull the kayak out and still jump into a tournament and still get my fix. Because when you on the sideline, oh man, nothing hurts more than just sitting on the sideline and then looking on your phone, watching all the tournaments go by and the weights and all. You're like, man. So the kayak always got me where, oh, there's a kayak tournament, because between the kayak tournaments and the boat tournaments, there's something every weekend. You know,
Every weekend.
weekend. I tell my wife, like, even like here on the Delta, which is so cool. If you have a boat, you can fish the Mondays tournaments. You can fish the Wednesday tournaments. You can fish the Thursday tournaments. And then there's a Saturday tournament or maybe even a Sunday tournament. And this is like every week. You know? So like it's like Vegas out here, you know? There's a lot of gambling, going on.
For sure.
Of...
For sure. So what's the next on the kayak for you?
Man, well, me and GB and Coach, we about to head to Texas in September to go fish the Bass Nation Texas, the last one of the year. Okay. So I'm gonna try to go back to back there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That one's in
Toledo Bend.
Where at?
Toledo Bend.
Toledo Bend, that's right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be going out there. Man, I'm excited. To see if who knows? I might, win it again. Who knows? Go take that momentum and this positive energy, and then I'm gonna go out there and fish that. But
so what you're saying, GB's trying to get a ticket point so he can go back to Tennessee.
Yeah. I said, him and Coach. I said, let's go out there and get y'all a ticket in there too, so we all can get out there and make it a party.
Heck yeah.
I said, so I ain't out there, solo bolo. Well, I guess I will be solo bolo because I got multiple board. I got Damien. Yep. I got Pua. They're my guys right there. I said when I first got into kayak tournament, Damien was the first guy to hit me up and was like, welcomed me into the world of tournament fishing, and then gave me a whole list of tournaments out his way to go fish, Eastman and some of them lakes out that way. And I went out there. I fished the whole season with him out there, and I learned a lot, fishing all the way out there. But yeah, Damien, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's like the KVD of the kayak world out here, man. He's the man. He's the man. Pool too. Like them guys. Like when I was fishing the tournament, I'm like, it's funny because like look at the roster on the tournament, you see like, oh, how many people fishing it, and then you start scrolling to see who's fishing it, and then you start seeing some of those names. I see John's name. I'm like, okay, all right, they coming out to play today. Like it like lets you know like when you see certain caliber of fishermen fishing, you gotta really fish. You gotta fish clean. You gotta like make it happen. You gotta maybe even dig down deeper to fish harder than you normally would fish. Even though I know you fishing your hardest, but like these guys are gonna catch them. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They catching them. So if you can't sit there and be like, oh, you didn't catch him that good, and be like, oh, hopefully nobody didn't catch him. Yeah, right. Somebody got him.
When you do get on them, you're like, man, we got on them. And you look at the leaderboard like, oh shit, I'm all the way down there.
Right. Yeah.
That
happened
like
too.
last year, bro.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
For the West Coast Championship last year, you crack a 90-some pound, inch bag. You're like, dude, we're doing all right. Thinking about the numbers from June, we did the wild card up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I ran into Damien because we launched the same place. So what'd you get? He's like, oh, I got that's the same thing I got. And they beat me on big fish. And we're all down like the mid-90s, and we're down like 20, 30th place. Like,
that'd be crazy. Hey, that's crazy. Hey, when people post their stuff after the time or catch that out, yeah, that there. Woo, especially when you think you doing good the whole day, and then before they shut it off, you're up there. So you're like, okay, cool. I should bust a check. Like I'm in third. Like they paying down to 13th. I should end up in 5th or 6th. And then you should later. You drive in, you make long ass drive, 40 minutes. You already spending the money in your mind, like, man, if I take third, heck yeah, I might get that little plaque. I got some money coming. You park and everything. And then they be like, 15th place with 92 inches. You like, what? I didn't even make 15. Like they got him. Ah! And then you like standing around, you like, hey, that part there. I just seen a lot of long faces at the kayak tournament where guys thought they was gonna cut a check or be up there, and then once they got all revealed, once they pulled the curtains back, like, nah, you didn't do too good. I said,
you did great, but you still did great.
right, you did good up to an hour before the tournament, and everybody who didn't post they weights it, they let it post it.
It's been
I said,
Damien.
oh yeah, Damien like to do that, Pool do that, GB do that. I be like, man, post them fish, man, so I know where I'm at.
That's the thing too. Is like when you're looking at
John,
the leaderboard, you go, okay. I know he has the post. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you give like another 3 on top of that. There's about 8 places that I can go now from.
Yeah, exactly.
Posted yet? Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
You're back.
Yeah, I remember at one point I was in first place.
Hello?
I was gonna call Kong and say, "Yo, bro, man, there's a tornado coming in town. You need to cancel the tournament. Have everybody spit their fish right now." But,
you hear us, though?
That's not how.
Yo, we can hear you.
You there?
He's not muted, I don't think. No. Should be good.
We see you.
Oh, he'll come back in. Oh man, yeah, guys. Quick update. So next week, I'll get into it. He's back.
Fellas, I don't know what happened. There we go. Hey, my fault. Yeah, I know, man. Oh, it's been a minute since I had to get on these gizmos, Yeah.
Oh man. So what do you enjoy most about hopping in the kayak over the big boat?
Man, I think it's that I like that it's a individual game. When the 99% of the tournaments, that's even like here on the Delta, 99% of these tournaments is a team tournament. Like this year they had one pro-am, and even then you still got somebody in the back of the boat. I love the kayak that I'm fishing against a person who is just them. It ain't no help, ain't no last minute heroics from your partner. It's none of that. It's all you. And I can appreciate that because then you beat me straight up. Like it's just you out there. I love that I'm so low to the ground, like that low to the water. I love it's that feeling. Like I'm going through Tules and I'm paddling, and like today I went fishing and it was a super low tunnel bridge I went under, and I had to take all my rods down and I had to bend down like this, and I'm paddling through, and I'm like, this is so sick. Like I'm on an adventure. Like the boat can't get back here. Like, oh man, I didn't catch nothing, but just all that stuff. I love it. I love when I see an area where the boat can't get back up there without grinding all through the grass and the cheese. But I could take this kayak and I could paddle all the way back there quietly, and then catch these fish, knowing that when I leave these fish, I don't got to worry about that boat over there coming to catch this fish. He can't. It's impossible. Things like that. It just keeps drawing me to the kayak, and I also love that the money I save when I go to the lakes or anywhere. Well, it's cheaper to launch, no gas, no oil. So that's just kind of like more trips I can go fish. I can go fish an area and try something, and knowing like even if they don't bite, no fish, it didn't cost me a whole lot of money to make this happen. If I want to take my boat to Orville, then I got to tow this boat. I got to get all the way up there, gas, oil, gas for the vehicle, more gas, and if I don't catch them anything, then it's like, man, that was like $200 trip right there, to go do that, versus my kayak, it'd be a quarter of the price to do it, and I can still launch wherever I need to launch that a boat. only thing the boat's going to give me is just knowing I can just go hit multiple spots. And the boat also is a thing is when it is a windy day, I prefer to be in that boat than that kayak. you know. So,
Oh,
but outside of that, yeah, that kayak, man, it's like one of those things. Like also, it's just kind of hard to explain to somebody who never been in a fishing kayak. That's why I tell guys, like, if you love to fish, you got a boat or you walk the bank. If you love to fish, you definitely need to get inside a fishing kayak because once you get in, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I was tripping. I need one of these. I feel like you need a boat and a kayak. My opinion. If you can make that happen, I mean, it ain't got to be the fanciest, but you know,
Yeah.
if you can get out there, you know, yeah, for sure.
They're,
So you
they're
got-
real stealthy too. I mean, I've been at Clear Lake and literally have 6 inches of line out and catch a buzzbait fish with 6
Yes.
inches of line out.
Yep.
And a
Them
bass
fish did
boat,
not see you.
yeah, and a bass boat 20 feet away, those fish are going,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know
Hey,
that's
John.
a bass boat right there.
Yep. How many fish have you just cruised up in your kayak and they just sitting right there? And then
Yeah,
the
they
last
use-
second they see you, they like, oh goodness, and then they leave. Like you can
Right.
creep up right up on top of these fish before they even know that you even there. Like
Yeah.
the stealthiness is yeah, you can't beat that. That boat, they see and hear
They
that
know
thing
you're
coming.
coming.
They know. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Damien said it best. He goes, "Yeah, you pull up to a spot and the fish uses your boat for shade." It's right underneath your boat.
All right. Yeah,
You
I
know,
believe that
you're
too.
like, oh wow, where'd that fish come from?
All right. Yeah, he chew all day long till you get off the
Yeah,
water.
following you around right there.
All right.
Right next to you. You're like, come on, bite, fish.
All right.
In a boat?
Uh,
no.
Nah.
No.
But I said I love my boat too. I
Yeah.
love jumping in that boat. Everything is in it. When I get off the water, I ain't taking nothing off. I just put it on the trailer, strap it up. I
Yeah.
go home. You know, if I could drive all the way to a spot instantly, look at it, it's not good. I could pick up and go. You know,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I think fishing out of kayak made me a better fisherman.
Yeah.
Knowing that I can't leave. So when I know I'm in an area where it's like I got him, like when I won the championship, that whole area I fished, maybe a 2-3 mile span, I can tell you every tule, piece of stick, the grass, everything about that area because I fished it so much, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So in a boat, I wouldn't even wasted that much time there. I would have left
Right.
and then probably came back. But when you think in your mind in the tournament, like I don't have the luxury to take this kayak all the way back to the vehicle, load it back up, drive to a whole nother area, unload it, and then it's like time be going by so fast. It was just too much, and I knew that in this area there's big fish here. But in my kayak, I just know like I just got to sit and wait this out, and I just got to keep my head down and just stay focused and just keep fishing these areas, knowing that a window or two is going to open throughout the day, and if I could capitalize on them, then I could do pretty good. Yeah.
For sure. So, are you gonna put a graph on the new kayak? Are you gonna rock that?
Now I'm gonna put a graph on it for sure. But when I fish the Delta, it's like
It don't matter.
yeah.
No.
All right, I don't even need it. Like it's actually in the way. Yeah, actually on the Delta is actually in my way. So I don't even bring it at all. I already know what I'm gonna do. Like even on my boat, I don't even turn those graph. If I turn the graph on, I'm just checking the tide. Let me see what that tide's doing. But outside of that, nah. But that's what kind of crippled me when I go to the lakes. All these years, Delta. You don't need a graph. Okay. Now, you're going to the lakes. Oh, you need 17,000 graphs. I don't even know how to work. I don't even know how to work the one I got. Yeah.
all you need is one on the kayak. That's it.
Yeah, I know,
You need
but
one.
it's just I don't do it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now technology is just getting so far ahead. It'll be like if I feel like if I go back to the lakes, I feel like when I do get my boats and I do transition back to like the bigger tournaments that's on the lakes, I really got to go out there and like start over and really learn it. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
understand that. I know that it's going to take time and it's going to take work. I'm going to put that time in if I want to see the results that I want to see. There's no need for me to complain about it. I know what I got to do. I'll just have to go do it.
That
But
is
I don't have to
well
do it now.
said. That is
Yeah.
well said. Just you know what you got to compete against. Shut up, put the work in, and do it. Right?
Do it. Yeah. If I want to
Yeah.
win, yeah, that's what it's going to be because ain't nothing is going to, it's not changing. So it's like, I'm going to have to adapt. But I'm having so much fun on the Delta. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I love that if a guy comes here and he got 25 million grabs on his boat or his kayak, he still don't have that edge on me on the Delta. I can still
Nope.
compete with you with 0 grab. And Delta is like probably the only place that can do that, because
Mhm.
Clear Lake, you can still
No.
compete with a guy shallow, but when they not shallow and they offshore, then it's over
Got
for you.
it.
The Delta is
Mhm.
24/7, 7 days a week. There's some fish shallow somewhere. There's some way to catch them fish up there, some way, somehow. Clear
Yep.
Lake, all these other places, yeah, if they start going deep, like I done been in the tournaments and fished against the scopers and the guys who really know to use their graph. Like, like they're it's man, you start seeing you be trying to catch those fish regular, and then you look at the scoreboard, they just taking off on you. And it's like, wow, wow, wow. Like, yeah, like you need to know that stuff if you're gonna compete. I think those
Mhm.
days of just getting lucky out there is kind of I mean, it can still happen, but it's tough. It's tough. And
Yeah.
it's like shout out to the guys who know that stuff. Like, you know. But I say I stick. Right now I just stay in my lane. I'm a Delta guy. And I love that I can fish how I want to fish here. Ain't pretty places they have tournaments where I can just throw top water and chatter and punch all day. It ain't very few places where that occurs.
Yeah.
So
Do you fish much in the winter on the Delta
yep,
for bass?
yep,
Or are you
yep.
out chasing crappie and
No,
whatnot?
yeah, I do the crappies too and the stripers, but I definitely stick on the bass because they still have a couple of tournaments during that time of the year. You know, but it's a lot tougher. It's for
Mhm.
sure tough. Like it varies every year, but it has this spurt of that toughness. But it's still fun because it's tough on everybody, and somebody got to figure them out. And it's just a fun time, and it's a good time to get better at fishing, especially in the Delta when it's tough. You know, versus when they just biting. When you got to really figure it out, switch it up. You know, like I didn't have to switch up to throwing little crankbaits, and I won't hesitate to pick up a crankbait. I won't hesitate to pick up a drop shot. I won't hesitate to pick up a Cinco if I feel like that's what I need to do.
Did you have a spinning rod on the kayak with you during the wild card?
Yes,
You did.
I keep a spinning rod with me every tournament.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
did.
yeah. I do. I didn't cut. Actually, I didn't cut a lot of key fish with the spinning rod. Because I didn't have a lot of tournaments where they don't want the punch, they don't want the chatter, they don't want the top water. They just not biting it, and you forcing it. You're forcing it. You're forcing it. Hours go by, and it's been times. A lot of times, I go down with the ship. I was too hard headed to switch up. It might go 2, 3, 4 tournaments before I even switch up. Hard headed, just knowing that ain't the bite, but I'm forcing it. I'm forcing it. And then as soon as you start picking up spinning rod and worms and stuff, boom, you start catching them. And then you start figuring. But then it's those guys who can figure that transition out fast. The first guys
Mhm.
that's on that stuff, while everybody else still throwing power fishing. That finesse bite is going off, and I love to finesse fish. A lot of people think that I just power fish all the time, but no, I finesse. I 90% of the time I'm throwing some type of finesse a couple of times throughout the day.
Yeah. So that's one thing, right? So there's another guy I talked to that's a big time power fisherman and didn't really carry too many spinning rods. Well, they've realized, it's like I was saying, you gotta have it because things are gonna change, and that's made him a better angler. right? You're
Yep.
able to adapt. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
It's the Delta. No, we should not have to have a spinning rod on a deck. But you know what? It
Hey,
happens.
yeah,
You know?
you might have 4 fish that you caught power fishing, solid fish. You looking perfect to win. You just know you need that 5th fish, and then hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, not a bite. Now it's getting close time for you to leave to go weigh those fish in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to pick up little worm because you just need that keeper, and that keeper is that winning fish. Me and
Yeah.
Clint had to do that. Like, man, we got to leave in 20 minutes. We've been power for the last, nothing's happening. Take me over here by those 2. Let me get this drop shot out. There we go. 2.5. Put that little 2.5 with all our other big fish. Won the tournament or was way up there. But without that fish, we wouldn't have been nowhere. We just came back with 4 fish. Sometimes you got to know when to call it and pull that card out for stuff like that too. You know.
Heck yeah. Well, dude, congrats, man. I appreciate you
Yeah,
hopping on the show.
congratulations.
Thank you, fellas.
Like,
I appreciate you.
Dude, your story is epic. I love it. I love your storytelling. Everybody else does.
I appreciate the love.
We need to see you on here more often.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Y'all get with me for sure. You know, I got a bunch of stories. I keep a story.
Yeah. Oh, dude. We'll have to do a story time with Obedie one day. Just let him
Exactly.
go.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, I'll be on here for hours talking.
You spill the beans on everybody.
Remember that podcast you guys did with Cast and Crank?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to that like I don't know how many times. That was good. Love that.
Hey, we start getting those beers in us. The wild stories start flying, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you are looking for a 20, it's a PA-14 in Battleship Gray. Brian's got a couple up and ready. So if you guys want a new PA-14 in that color, he's got some. Don't forget Bioenno, TEN, save you 10% on checkout. And then Anglers RX10, first gen fishing for all your first gen products. Check them out. Help those that help us out. Keep the lights on. I don't know what's going to happen next week until the end of October. Either John and Shane are taking over for the ship for a while, or we're going to have some pre-recorded shows. I'm going to be help coaching my kids' football team. So Tuesday nights, unless John and Shane are doing it, will not be live anymore, but we'll have something up if they're not going to do it. So we won't leave you guys hanging.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. So just keep an eye. I mean, we'll keep everybody updated. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. Talking to you, man. Congrats.
Anytime.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Is it any tournaments this weekend coming up, John, or is this a tournament free weekend?
Yakabas team.
Yakabas team. I'll be out there. Yeah. Me and Santa, we're going for the W this year. This time, Santa, we do. Yeah, I'll be out there. Yeah, I'll be out there Saturday. Right? It's on the Delta. Yep.
Oh man, there you go.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna hear from Obedie again next week when we do.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. It's gonna be Obedie shows.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that was listening too, man. You know, if y'all fishing this weekend, I'm sending you some dubs. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Nothing but love.
Make sure you yell at them on the water from wherever the bridge, the road.
That's right.
The riprap.
That's right.
Right down to the stream. Like, oh!
That's right, baby. Show me some love.
Good luck tomorrow.
If he's got his head down a little low, just give him a little,
yeah,
something.
Yeah. I can use it.
Yep.
All right. All right, fellas.
All right, man.